Hey, my name's John Stevenson, the Guaranteed Retirement Guy, and I'm going to be talking to you about 3 ways to retire tax-free. All right, none of us want to pay taxes, or at least we want to minimize the amount that we pay. So are there ways? Yes, there are absolutely ways to retire and reduce or completely eliminate our taxes. All right, so let's talk about those 3 top ways. Well, I would say the top way is probably having millions of dollars in a Roth IRA, because we know that all growth in a Roth IRA is completely tax-free when it comes out, okay? So that is the number one, in my opinion, if you want completely tax-free, is to have a lot of money in a Roth. Now, that is not realistic for a lot of people. Most of us have our money in tax-deferred accounts, and that's why there's such a huge amount of people right now putting money into Roth IRAs. They're doing a lot of Roth conversions right now because right now it's unlimited, okay? So maybe you're not in a position to do that. Okay, well, let's talk about another way. What about municipal bonds? Did you know those are tax-free? And they could be tax-free depending on the state. So some states will tax you, and sometimes they won't. And a lot of times we can get municipal bonds in states that are outside of our own state and still not be taxed. But it just depends on those states' rules. Now, I would say for the most part, they are all exempt, though, from federal taxes. So if you're thinking about looking at returns and you're thinking about, all right, how much can I get from a muni? Then you can compare. Just keep in mind when you're looking at munis, yes, they are completely tax-free for the most part. If you do it right, they are tax-free returns, but corporate bonds might pay more, and the after-tax return of those might be more than your tax-free return from the munis. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, the third way is to have a non-qualified annuity. Now, I would say it's not completely tax-free, but usually around 66% of the income that does come from it is completely tax-free, usually for around 20 to 25 years, depending on a lot of factors, depending on your age right now and your life expectancy. So that is figured out once you purchase the annuity. Once you turn on the income, they use a ratio which is called the exclusion ratio. And they basically what they do is they return your premium to you tax-free, because remember, the money you put into a non-qualified annuity has already been taxed. And so because of that, it's not going to be retaxed. Okay, so it comes back tax-free, but also a portion of it will be earnings, and that comes to you at a taxable rate. Okay, so most of it will not be taxed, but you know, some of it will, and that's really determined by the exclusion ratio. Okay, now if you have the annuity inside of a Roth, now you've got guaranteed income inside of a Roth. So now it's tax-free and it's guaranteed for life. That's even better. So I would say out of all 3 of these, if I was looking for the most income and I wanted to be completely tax-free, what I would do is I would try to put all of my money into a Roth IRA or convert as much as I can. And then I would take that and I would put it into an annuity. I'd purchase an annuity so that I have guaranteed income for the rest of my life, and if I'm married, for the rest of my spouse's life. That is, to me, one of the number one strategies that you could do. Now, if you have your money sitting into a traditional IRA and you need to convert it to a Roth, but you don't want to do it all at once because the tax burden is so high, you can spread that out. And what I would recommend in those instances is purchase an annuity with it first, because you want that roll-up rate. You need that roll-up rate. Okay, so especially if it's 6 or 7% guaranteed every single year for the purpose of taking income later on, you need that growth. You do not want to wait until you convert that. While you convert it, maybe you do a partial conversion for 5 years. You don't want to miss out on those 5 years of guaranteed growth for that annuity. And so what you would do is you would take that money, purchase the annuity inside of a regular IRA with the annuity company, and then what will happen is you will direct the annuity company to do a partial Roth conversion every single year. And they've got forms for that. You basically just tell them the amount, you fill it out on the form, and they will convert it. And it's the same contract. It's still growing at the same roll-up rate. And so if you decide to convert it over 5 or 10 years and you spread that out, you can do that. And it's still the same annuity contract. It still has the same guaranteed growth, same guaranteed income. But now, by the time you take income, it's also tax-free because at that point, it's fully converted to a Roth. So that's what I would recommend. Definitely do not wait to fund the annuity. If you want that roll-up rate sooner rather than later, I mean, the longer you defer it, the longer you give it that growth, the more income you're going to get. And so, but if you want that tax-free income, you can convert it to a Roth after you purchase the annuity, and then it'll slowly convert to a Roth. You can do it all at once if you want, but a lot of these companies will allow you to do a partial conversion every single year until you convert it all. So that's what I would recommend. These are, in my opinion, the 3 top ways that you can bring in a lot of tax-free income to yourself. But of course, as the guaranteed retirement guy, I usually will recommend annuities at least as some part of your portfolio because it gives you guarantees. You don't have to worry about finding a new municipal bond. Okay. You don't have to worry about changing up your investments every now and then to give you the income that you hope you're going to get next year. You hope that it'll be the same as last year's, right? With annuities, you don't have to worry about that. It's guaranteed. And you can stack these annuities. If you're worried about inflation, people will purchase multiple annuities and they will activate different annuities at different times and give themselves raises so that they can counteract the effects of inflation and continue to have the money they need for the rest of their life because it's guaranteed. It's like buying multiple guaranteed pensions. All right. And of course, you can make that tax-free through a Roth conversion, or just do a non-qualified. You don't have to do a Roth at all. And most of it is still not taxed for a long, long time. Eventually, it will get to a point where it is completely taxed, but that usually with the exclusion ratio, when they're basing off your life expectancy, it's usually a long ways away. So those are very, very beneficial when you're thinking about tax rates right now, and you don't want to pay taxes, and you want to have as much net income as possible. It's a great way to do it. So anyways, I hope this video helps. If you want to talk, go to a link below this video. That link goes to my calendar, and I'll answer all your questions. I'll show you all the annuities available, and then you decide, okay? Who am I to tell you what to get? But it is my responsibility to at least show you everything that is available. So if any of those make sense and you have questions or you want to submit applications, I can do all that for you as well. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. I'm just going to show you what's available and I'll answer your questions. So hope that helps. Appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.